But I thought federal funding was bad. Haven't we been hearing, wasn't the whole last campaign about how the federal government is too involved in our lives, we want less federal spending and less federal money in the states?
Like the lady who had the sign saying, keep the federal government out of my Medicare.
Right.
You know?
Well, I didn't say that it wasn't hypocritical, I just said that it was.
No, look, the bottom line is some federal funding is wrong. Some federal funding is wasteful. Some federal funding doesn't achieve its goals. Yeah. We've got to find that and get rid of it. But the federal funding that's important and that does work, like education, like infrastructure. I was on a show with Mike Pence, the chair of the Budget Committee.
House Republican from Indiana.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's a big conservative, was down at the CCAP convention saying, no to taxes, no to spending, no to borrowing. And I said to him, when he gave us the same riff, I said, Congressman, you seem like a reasonable guy. Tell our viewers, I wasn't sure he really was, but it's nice to be nice.
I'll go along with you, that's fine. Yeah.
I said, tell our viewers, if that's your philosophy, how are we going to maintain our roads, our bridges, our dams, our levees, our water systems? How are we going to maintain them in safe condition? Don't you think we have to invest in keeping our infrastructure in good working condition so it's economically competitive and safe? And the only answer he said, oh, there you Democrats go again, using the word invest when you really mean spend. Well, there's some government spending that's good, and the public has to come to grips with that. Mm-hmm. There's some things that the government has to do for us. And those things have to be funded. The things that are unnecessary or unsuccessful, get rid of them.
What about the problematic, supposedly problematic strings attached? You know, a lot of controversy over the race for the top funding, among other things that the Obama administration was looking to provide to states. And some states, Texas among others, said, we don't like the idea of strings attached, we're not going to play for this.
Well, I think the states have that option.
You didn't have any problem with that?
There is no federal program, even the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit when we had it, that you could adopt it as a state or choose not to adopt it. If you chose not to adopt it, you didn't get federal highway money.
Strings attached.
Right, strings attached. But there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. You know, I give out, in my 8 years as governor, we've given out a lot of money to the school districts, but a lot of it had strings attached to it. I mean, you want money for early childhood, you're going to have full-day kindergarten. Because full-day kindergarten, the research shows, is the single most impactful thing, K through 12 achievement. Right. So there's nothing wrong. You don't have to take the money. You don't have to put that program in. But if you take it, put it in. Yeah. We gave every school district in Pennsylvania, we gave over $220 million to put laptops at every one of the 4 core curriculum classes, 9th through 12th grade, and smart boards for the teacher. It revolutionized high school teaching. 3 out of the 501 school districts we had chose not to take it. And that's their right.
That's the way it goes.
That's their right.
You are, while you're not part of the Olbermann-Maddow wing of the party, you are Mr. Democrat. You were chair of the Democratic National Committee.
And I'm basically progressive.
Right. So.
And by the way, Rachel and Keith are not by any means wrong all the time.
They believe what they believe. That's fine.
And Rachel does it with a smile.
She does. Well, he doesn't.
No.
She does. Why did your party face plant this last November?
Because we had no guts. It goes back to the wussiness.
It really is? It was a party of
wussiness? Look, now, I thought it was amusing. I don't know if other Democrats or progressive thought so. Everybody was mad at the president because he was agreeing to allow the tax cuts for the rich to be extended for 2 more years.
Yeah.
And yet, when people proposed that Democrats run on that issue before the election, run on the issue, they polled well. You hardly heard 3 Democrats nationwide run on that issue. So if it wasn't good enough to run on,
right,
why then was it important for the president to take a stand? Yeah. So I think a lot of times we lose because people forget the difference between the parties.
63 seats, though, in the House. That's an awful lot of wussiness.
Because we tried to be Republican light.
So that's what it is, the lack of differentiation between your party and the other party.
Absolutely. Yeah. If I voted for the health care bill, the last thing I would have done is run away from it. I would have every day something new rolled out, and a lot of great stuff rolled out on the health care bill. Yeah. You could cover your child on your own health insurance up to the age of 26. That was a new change this year. Right. No child 25 years or under could be denied coverage for a pre-existing illness. Huge change. Seniors getting a $250 check to help them pay for the donut hole in the prescription drug coverage. A huge benefit. Small businesses, 25 employees or under, and in Pennsylvania we had 170,000 of them. Small businesses could get a 35% federal tax credit. This year, I would have been campaigning on all that good stuff. Yeah. And saying, hey, folks, take a deep breath. This is what healthcare is doing for Pennsylvania. This is what it's doing for Texas, et cetera.
Yeah. We got about a minute and a half left. You told me before we started taping that your intention, once you leave office in a little while right now, is to make money for the first time in your life.
Well, I've spent most of the last 33 years worrying about the welfare of millions of people. Now I'm going to start worrying about the welfare of one person.
For one or two.
But within the framework of making that money, I still want to influence the public dialogue. I'm still going to stay as co-chair along with Mayor Bloomberg and Governor Schwarzenegger of Building America's Future, our infrastructure organization. We don't get paid for that. And I do want to probably sign with one of the networks as a contributor. Not for the money, although the money's not bad, but not for the money, but because I want to have a say in influencing the public dialogue.
One of the partisan networks or one of the nonpartisan
networks?
Well,
it depends on who gives me the best platform. Because I can go, look, Joe Scarborough and Mika are on MS, and I think they do a very good job balancing the discussion. So I don't think, and even on Fox, I think Fox gives Pat Goodell and Bob Beckel,
Lanny Davis,
the ability to present their point of view. And I think it's important that we talk to everybody. When I was DNC chair, I used to get a lot of, feedback for going on Fox so much. I said, look, Fox has the biggest audience of any of the cable networks, and the studies show that about 25% of their audience are registered Democrats. I want to keep them in the fold.
Reach the base.
Reach the base.
So if the Obama administration or the president himself called you right now and said, Governor, come be chief of staff, or Governor, come succeed Secretary LaHood, or succeed one of the other cabinet secretaries, you'd say no.
The only job that I'd be interested in is chief of staff, and as I've said, you couldn't turn that down, but as I've said, if I were president, the last person I'd want as chief of staff is Ed Rendell.
Because?
Because he's too much of a free spirit. Right. The chief of staff should be Colin Powell, and I think he would take it. He doesn't want it, but he's enough of a patriot that he would take it, and he has the stature to take the Republicans and the Democrats in the Congress and bring them together and say, come on, guys, we're at war. And I'm not talking about Iraq and Afghanistan. American competitiveness is being challenged, and we're losing. And we're going to continue to lose if you guys play politics for the next 2 years. Let's get some stuff done. Yeah, okay, Governor. We're out of time. Great stuff, though, all of it. Thank you for your service to Pennsylvania, to the country. My pleasure. Good to see you, sir. Thank you. Good to see you. W. Rendell.
Funding for Overheard with Evan Smith is provided in part by Hilco Partners, Texas Government Affairs Consultancy, and its global healthcare consulting business unit, Hilco Health, and by the Matson McHale Foundation in support of public television, and also by MFI Foundation, improving the quality of life within our community, and also by the Alice Kleberg Reynolds Foundation. And viewers like you, thank you.